Welcome to a new season of Branson Talk. I'm your host, Christopher James. Thank you to all of our loyal listeners over the year. And if you are a new listener, I urge you to go to bransontalk.com and see the over 200 separate episodes that we have of Branson Talk, talking about every topic that you can possibly think of. But this week, we are debuting our next season with a very, very interesting guest. And you all know him. If you've been to Branson, Missouri, you have seen this gentleman somewhere, whether it be Silver Dollar City, his own show that he has occasionally, or maybe in the Patsy Cline tribute show, or in one of the other dozen venues that he appears in. Of course, I'm talking about Terry Wayne Sanders. Terry has hosted many events around town. He has been in Branson for years. He is a staple at Silver Dollar City with his many, many characters that he does. And I've been trying to get Terry on the show for a while, but our schedules are crazy. He's almost as big of a workaholic as yours truly. And we'll talk about that. We'll find out why. I hope you enjoy our Branson Talk. We're taking kind of a new turn this year. What we're doing is we're doing a longer interview with each of our entertainers, our business personnel, our public figures, and then I take time after the interview to go over a few different questions and topics that we're going to break up and release as mini little episodes to give you some more insight. And what we do with Branson Talk is try to make them a little bit different, right? We don't want to just promote a show. We want to promote our guest venues and so on, but we want you to get to know them. That's the whole point of this. They're not commercials, okay? We don't get paid by the venues to do these. We've never once been paid. It would be nice to be paid, but we've never once been paid to promote a particular venue in one of our Branson Talk episodes. But do take a minute to go to bransontalk.com. If you are listening to this on iTunes, please subscribe. Please take a minute to subscribe and leave us some feedback on there. We may have a little contest with anybody that leaves feedback on Branson Talk this year. But this is a brand new episode. I've wasted enough of your time telling you what you're going to hear, so let's actually hear it. My interview with Terry Wayne Sanders. You've been in Branson a little while. A few days.
Yeah. 38 years.
38 years.
Honest to goodness.
Yeah. But you came like in the 60s, right?
Yes, around 1965. My grandfather, Lee Sanders, brought me and my family here, and we went to Silver Dollar City. Now, back then, we could afford to go there because Silver Dollar City was free. You paid $1.25 to go to Marble Cave.
Oh, I see. So it was just a vacation. You were just here on vacation then.
Yeah, but the most amazing thing was I was so excited because when I got to Silver Dollar City, oh my gosh, I told my grandfather, I said, someday I am going to be here. And he just laughed. He's like, no, really, because I fell in love with Silver Dollar. I thought, man, look, you got the steam train. You got all these things I love, the hillbillies, all of it. So, that's when the seed was planted.
Yeah, and so how old were you when you came?
Let's see, 65. I was 6 years old.
Oh. And you remember that?
Oh, I
don't
mean,
even remember what
it was
I did last week.
At first. Oh my, yeah, funny. Yeah, no, I do. I mean, everything was here, and of course, not only did we go to Silver Dollar, we went to a music show, and I said the same thing. I said, "Oh, I'd love to be on stage. Oh, the comedians, because that was always my forte. Anyway, I loved watching
even at 6
comedians
years old.
At 6 years of age.
Yeah.
Because
Who were you
Jerry
watching?
Jerry Lewis. Oh my, that was big. Don Knotts was big because he was doing the Ghost of Mr. Chicken after he left the Andy Griffith show and all that whole genre, if you will. But it was all physical comedy of the old school types, Even George Burns, people like that. I was intrigued by them.
Yeah.
And, of course, we also went to Shepherd the Hills. And I said, oh, I'd love to do that because I wanted to be Little Pete, And so, it all has come full circle. I'm actually living my dream because I work at all these places. I'm having still the time of my life. After 38 years of doing this, it's still exciting. And now I see next generations coming up and you're still alive.
You're still alive. We didn't see that coming.
Yeah, hello. We would have guessed you were the first gone.
Yeah, in our Deadpool, you were like number 3. Well, so you've always wanted to be an entertainer? You went to college, though, right?
Yeah. My senior year in high school, we had what was called Career Day. And we had to get serious about what we're going to do because I always thought, well, I'll just be a comedian, Well, why not? And my parents were like, no. And so I looked around Mountain Grove, Missouri, my hometown, and saw Lynn Hurt. He was the family mortician, okay? And Lynn, he always had the nicest suits. He drove, a Lincoln Continental. He had well coiffured. I mean, just beautiful thick hair, but not a one out of place. And I thought, okay, now that would be the lifestyle right there. He's living a good life and he's helping out. There's a need.
Eventually, yeah.
Sure. And so I thought that. And then, of course, you have to be rather good at science, which I wasn't. Now, all the arts, I did that, drawing, acting, sports. Oh, he was fast, blah, blah, blah. But when it came to the real stuff, no.
Yeah.
And so I graduated in 1977. I'm going to go to SMS then, now MSU now. And, of course, my parents said, well, what are you going to study? I said, well, acting. Oh, son. How about Votech? Let's work. Yeah. I said, let me try it. If I don't do it, if it doesn't happen, I'll do whatever you want. Oh, good. So they were thrilled. But before I even graduated, because I started in the fall of 77, in 1980, I got a job at Silver Dollar City in the daytime. And at nighttime, I was working at the Corn Crib Theater doing the Tubby Show with Shad Heller, who was my hero, because not only was he from Silver Dollar City, he was on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, man, I love that show.
Oh, my, yeah. And that also cinched the whole deal, too. I thought, if Silver Dollar City is good enough for the Beverly Hillbillies, it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, growing up, I watched Beverly Hillbillies and Andy Griffith every single day.
Yeah.
Every day. I'm trying to get my kids into it. They don't understand the black and white situation.
Oh, how funny.
Which I didn't as a kid. There was a point where I'm like, when did they get color?
I remember.
In the world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching TV shows because we always had a black and white TV until probably about the early 70s. And it would always say, in color at the bottom of the screen. It's like, no, it's not. Liar.
There's even hotels here now that still say color TV. Have you seen them? There's one down the street.
Air conditioning. What? How
fancy. Want to get the Wi-Fi soon. Whenever I see that one hotel, we have color television. I just think it is. So what did your parents do?
My goodness.
What were their occupations?
My mother started out as whenever I was growing up, she and the whole family, grandparents included, all worked at the Brown Shoe Factory in Mountain Grove. And then my father passed away early on in our lives, and so for a while it was just the three of us, my mom and my brother, Leland. And then my mother remarried, and I'll never forget because it was the night of the moonwalk. And it's like, they had gone off to Oklahoma to get married, so we stayed with my aunt and uncle, and we watched them go on the moon. But my new father, Frank Vansel, a wonderful man, and he has really given us a life and a lifestyle that I probably would not have had with my real father, to be honest with you. And it was wonderful. Frank came into our lives at just the right time. And so my mom ended up being a stay-home mother. She did not have to work. And that was great. And my father, he had several businesses. He had Pioneer Amusement. So he had this route where he had jukeboxes, pinball machines, and pool tables.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was. And we had a big full basement. We had built a brand new house, and we all got to help build it. Okay, boys, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it was so exciting because in our basement, we had a pool table. We were the hot spot. And you know what was in the other room? Jukebox. And, it was amazing. So we had all these great things, the pinball machines. So we really had a wonderful life growing up, and so that was the Seed Planted. So my father did quite well with all that. Then he sold that business and went into the CB business. Oh, that was a big thing for a while.
Oh, yeah,
and
I remember.
Of course, and then he got several jobs. Of course, he became a circuit judge in Mountain Grove, or really Wright County, and ended up with a juvenile detention center in Mountain Grove. And so he kept it behooved us. He had a lot of experience with me. It all worked out. So it has been a wonderful ride.
So you were over at Silver Dollar City then as one of your first entertainment
jobs
jobs.
Yeah.
But you were just starting out kind of as an understudy, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Shad had come up to me at Silver Dollar and, Terry, I've been watching him. Boy, I like what you're doing. I think you've got some good timing there. Would you like to work for me? And I was thrilled. I mean, my hero said I had the thing, the talent, whatever, you want to put the label on. And so he got me over there, and of course we're talking about this and that, and he takes me back to the concession stand. Now, here's how you make popcorn. Now, here's how you pour the drink. And here's I'm sorry.
Welcome to the business.
What? Wait a minute. Raggy. So, but he said, now, those are the basics because you want to learn how to work. Because you know what, this acting business, it is a business. And there's days that you get to be on that stage and you will shine and you'll have a good time. There's also days you're going to have to be waiting tables or doing whatever.
Yeah.
And he was my mentor. He taught me about the business. And I always thought, you know what, this man, listen to him. And that's always been one of my mottos. Keep working. Keep getting better. Try to get better.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be flipping burgers. I don't want to be doing, these other things. I always want to be in the business. And I've been really very blessed to work day and night for the last 38 years.
Now, do you do it because, like me, you have extremely low self-esteem and you're self-conscious? Because I constantly, I think this is a running thread I've noticed with comedians all over, is I'm constantly worried somebody's going to walk up to me, even after being at the Showboat for 12 years, and come up and say, all right, like, seriously, enough is enough. You don't know what you're doing. Like, here's how you make the Admiral's beef. Get back there. Yeah, no, but I'm paranoid about that, and because times change so much, especially in Branson. You never know what's going on. Right. So that's why I have podcasts, I have stores, I have condo. My wife's like, "What are you doing? You have like 12 different company names." I said, because one could go at any minute.
That's right. No, I have not ventured out like that as much as I should, and I need to, but I have some things on the back burner.
You probably should, because we were going to talk to you after this.
Oh, yes. Oh, by the way, I haven't told you yet? Oh, so sorry. But it's been a fun ride. No, I'm sort of like that, though. Insecure, originally very insecure, and anytime I made someone upset or they didn't laugh or that's not funny, I would take it personal. And I used to fight almost, I don't want to say a depression, but like with the Brashers, I remember one night in particular, I had possibly the best show of my entire life at that point.
Yeah.
And I remember walking off stage and I got into this funk, if you will, because I thought I can never, ever duplicate that again. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, right.
And then, of course, I've learned over the years, after doing this again and again and again, as you well know, there's always going to be those great nights. There's going to be those bad nights. And whenever you've got a joke that works and you do it and it doesn't get the response, or they look away, they even boo, what do?
They boo? Where are you working?
Well, no, I was watching you that one night.
No. That was the Halloween show.
Oh, yeah. Hey, trick or treat. So, you just learn to get a tough skin and you just take it all with a grain of salt. With the world being so politically correct anymore, holy socks. And I used to do this whole routine about religions, not just one. But I covered all the bases.
You trashed them all.
Yes. Yeah, I knew. I said I was raised a Baptist, and of course, and this whole thing. But I remember one night, again, it was early on at the Brashers, a lady came down front because one of the religions I mentioned was Catholicism. Okay, she was a Catholic. Well, you shouldn't do that. You should not do that. That's just not funny. Yeah. I said, okay, help me out here. I said, did you not hear me talk about the Baptist or the Methodist or the Lutherans? And I went down the list. She goes, well, that doesn't matter. Just don't talk about the Catholics.
Yeah.
And then I said, right then, I said, Sanders, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what? If they have that narrow of a mind, nothing that I would ever do would ever change them. Because the next night it's going to be a Methodist, or the next night would be so I covered everybody.
But you do a lot of character work.
I do. When I first came here to this town, I watched certain comedians, and they were always that same personality. And of course, another influence in my life, I loved watching Bugs Bunny cartoons. Because he would change personas. He was still that bunny underneath there, but he would be a female, he'd be a male, he'd be the Western kind of guy, he'd be, whatever.
Right.
And I thought, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And he's successful. I think Bugs Bunny probably made a lot of money.
Probably.
So, maybe. Anyway, so, and of course, all my heroes, especially Don Knotts, Barney Fife. And to this day, I still love doing Barney at functions or wherever because he was beloved by all.
Yeah.
There was never, ever a negative word or anything said about Barney Fife.
There's a great biography, Andy and Barney, or Andy and Don.
Andy and Don.
Andy and Don. It's great. It goes over their personal relationship, and I just finished it a few months ago.
I want to borrow it because I don't have that. I would love to read that.
Yeah, it's amazing. But they say that no one ever said anything bad about him.
He was great. The only bad thing they said, they were mad because he left the TV show, because once he left the Andy Griffith Show, it went downhill.
Yeah.
It turned to color and they lost Barney.
Yeah, that's true. Now, a lot of people, because my onstage persona is a character, okay? Whether people believe it or not, it is a character, you have to be on stage, right?
Right.
And so when people meet me in real life, they always think I'm either in a bad mood or upset, or what's wrong? Why aren't you smiling? What happened? Do you get that? I mean, do people expect you to be?
Yeah, they do, and I just try to be me. Even when I do Homer Lee, I've done Homer Lee since I was with the Wilkinson Brothers, which started in 1983, and Homer Lee was always just an extension of Terry Wayne Sanders. I was always this happy-go-lucky guy, but Homer Lee was just a little amplified, a little bit bigger than life, and so I have just trained myself, and that's who I am anyway. So just be you, and make them happy. Right. And so that's always been the adage, There are days like you where I might be distracted or thinking about, oh, my boys, I've got to make sure this is done. My wife wanted that done. And Homer, are you okay? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm fine, But yeah, I try to be really aware of that because I'm also old school. I remember reading and watching people like Joan Crawford. You answer every single letter. You do that. Betty Davis did that. Jimmy Stewart did that. He answered every single letter. Yeah. And even added things extra into it. He did a picture of Harvey. Well, there's old Harvey, the pool. Right. Yeah. So, yeah.
And you do that at your shows just like we do. You greet everybody after the show because Branson's a little different.
Yeah. It's very funny whenever we have the names coming to town. They're like, you got a what?
Yeah.
Press the flesh? Really?
Exactly.
Yeah, because this is a different bird, and a lot of people don't understand how Branson really works, and it is very different.
Especially when you go from Branson and work outside. You were saying you're about to go and work on a cruise.
Yes.
Which is an entirely different ballgame.
Yeah.
I mean, have you worked outside of Branson much? Or
I do a lot of road shows. People book me. It's usually like the fundraisers or whatever, just some special event. And I love that. I've flown several places, which has always been exciting. I like that, because sometimes if you get a nice corporate gig, praise the Lord, we're going to be able to make 2 house payments, honey. Yay! So that's good. I've never really done, a long gig in Vegas or wherever, things like that. So, yeah.
But you do your own variety show every once in a while.
Yes, I do. For 5 years in a row, I did Homer Lee and Friends, which is kind of a generic name, and really just started out. We have a friend of the family who has started something when she was 16. She went on a mission trip, and she went over there with all these toys and all these great things, and the thing that the kids were impressed with, they said, "Thank you for the toys, but do you have a pencil? We want you to teach us to write our name."
Yeah.
And she said, "At home, I had a drawer full of pens and pencils and Crayolas." And she said, that's what I'm going to do. That's my mission, to come back and teach these kids how to draw color, but also how to write their name and how to teach them to read. And so at the age of 16, she had this vision. This is what my mission is. And so I said, you know what? We're going to help you out. We're going to make sure those kids have all the pencils or whatever they need. And so the first show I ever did was Homer Lee and Friends reunion show. And so I thought, I'm going to get all the Breislers back together, which we did. And someone said, well, you work with more than just the Breislers. So I got some scoop from, the Wilkinson brothers, the Toby show. We had some original members from that show. We did all these things and had all these people from our past or my past. And so it was a great success. We sold out 2 weeks in advance. The day of the show, we turned away over 200 people.
Oh, wow.
And so, it's
just a one-night
praise
thing?
the Lord. Yeah, just a one-time thing, because my schedule is just so crazy. But I said, we can put together a show. And do it once, and that's it. And usually the dress rehearsal is the day of the show.
Oh,
honest to goodness. Yeah. Because I say, you're a professional. You guys are professional. Here's what I want you to do. Here's the lineup. If you have questions, let me know. Get your tracks to the sound man. And here we go.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah,
that's pretty simple.
So we've done it for 5 years. This year we took the year off. I said, we've done it for 5 years, and every year we have to outdo ourselves. Let's all take a break. Let our bodies rest. Let our minds rest, Because as you know, trying to put together a show anyway is it's harrowing. You want it to be good and you want it to be better than the one before. And how can we ever top that? Well, you do. Yeah. But it's like, let's all just, take it. Now, next year, I've got some big plans, really big plans. Good. So, yeah.
Well, you have to tell me about them later.
Oh, sure. And I'm not going to name them. William Shatner.
Okay.
So, no, but wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. So that's the whole thing. But, I like it because it's a charity show. My friends all pitch in. We all do a great thing for somebody who can use it, and it's a legitimate thing. It's not like it's all about me. No, it's Homer Lee and Friends. And, of course, the people who come to my shows, they're my friends. Over all these years I've been here, I look out in that audience, and I can tell you where I met that person. I know where they're from, and it just makes my heart happy that they come back year after year.
Oh, that's great.
It is.
That's great.
It's a good thing.
But you've been over at Silver Dollar City for a long time
All
doing the
38
characters.
years. Yeah.
And we were just there the other day on Friday.
Yes.
And you scared my son.
He was asking for it.
Yeah, you weren't even in character. That was the best part. You just... So when you're there, I mean, you were doing this, I assume...
Scarecrow.
The Scarecrow.
Yes.
And I heard some colorful
metaphors.
Yes, I guess so. When you scare the people or when you move.
Yeah.
But he kept wanting to come back and wave and come back and wave.
Yeah.
Do you get to choose what characters you're doing during the day, or do they kind of tell you?
No.
Or?
I have been so blessed, honest to goodness. Right now, well, no, not right now because we just closed for the regular season. But during the regular season, I play 5 characters a day, and I try to stack it. And it's just like a show. You go good, better, best. And what would be the best, to greet people? So I do a warden, and he looks like an official, like a marshal or the sheriff. So he would be, welcoming. We're safe and secure, and come on in. Then I would do the Scarecrow, because it was the fall festival, and that kind of fits in with everything. And then Colonel Paisley Paul Nail, he's the banker in that white tuxedo with the white hair. Oh my God! Of course. And where is he from? The Bank of Bug Tussle. Where do we get Bug Tussle? From the Beverly Hillbillies. That's where Jed put his money in the bank in Bug Tussle. And then Embalmer, he's the Undertaker. They've always had an Undertaker at Silver Dollar City. My hero was Wayne Milnes. Wayne Milnes was the Undertaker that, he captivated people. He never spoke. He never, ever spoke.
Yeah.
And would just reduce people to tears. Just howling with laughter. And so I base it on that. Now, my character, he will speak certain times, and he'll say, well, in my profession, people I work with rarely talk back.
Yeah, that's
so,
nice.
You have that angle there. Then I end the day, it's, Doc Harris, the German inventor who created the wildfire roller coaster. Ach, the Liebe, sehr gut, yeah. So I just build it up from there. And of course, next year we have a new ride at Silver Dollar City, Time Traveler, and of course I'm looking at a new character for that. And of course, it would be sort of a steampunk type of thing because this is very Jules Verne. Oh, yeah. The whole design of it all, it is just amazing. So
it looks incredible.
It really does.
We're very much into steampunk in our family.
Oh, good.
So
good for
our
you.
whole house is steampunk, and
Well, I saw the smoke coming out, and I was just wondering,
Yeah. Well, that's the crematorium. That's
I see. Gotta go. See ya. Whoa, it's been fun.
Yeah. So you have that going on. You have the Homer Lee show next year that you're going to be doing. But right now you're at...
of course, Patsy Cline and Friends here at the Americana. My second year
Always
to be
with
CJ.
friends.
Always. See, and that's it. Isn't that nice? Because you got to have friends.
Well, I guess. My imaginary friends play with somebody else. I never...
But the voices...
One of them bullies me really bad.
No.
Yes. He speaks Italian. I have no idea what he's saying.
But it's not nice,
Italian.
I'm sure.
I'm sure it's not.
Hello. Oh.
No.
Prego. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I love being here with, of course, CJ Newsome. She does the tribute to Patsy Cline, and we're here on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and we're gearing up right now for Christmas. We've been in rehearsals for that. And that's what's also interesting about Branson, too. When we first went to Christmas in this crazy little town, everybody did all Christmas songs. Yeah. And all the people who came here at first go, oh, that's so nice. And then all of a sudden they go to another show. Well, we heard those songs over there.
Yeah.
Then let's go to another show. We heard those songs over there, too. So now we've all learned, do the basics, what make you really good, and then give it a big flavor of Christmas.
Yeah.
And
there's only so many Christmas songs. I say this all the time.
So there, see, we're learning. And that's what we all need to do, just grow and learn. Like, okay, write that one down. That's important to know.
I have a pet peeve, and yes, and it's not just you.
Oh, good.
It's
everybody.
But you alluded to something a few minutes ago, and it made me think of it. When people come up to me and say, "You're great," that's my pet peeve. No, it doesn't happen often. No, they come up and they say, "We love the show. What do you plan to do? What are you trying to?" This is great. You're going to be something someday.
Yeah.
Like, that bothers me.
Why are you still here?
Yeah, or they want to know what your other job is.
Yes.
Yeah. What else do you do?
Yeah.
And, like you were saying, I've achieved everything I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to make a living doing what I want. I wanted to have my own radio show, have my own TV show. I've done it all. I'm happy. And so I get a little irritated when people think Branson is just a stepping stone.
Right.
Although I do the joke with our musical director. When I introduce him, I say, people perform in Branson twice in their life. Once on the way up, once on the way back down. And it's great to have John back with us again. Yeah, he loves that.
Oh, that's funny.
He loves that.
Funny.
But do you get a lot of people that do that? I mean, they know you do a lot of things.
Yeah, and thank goodness, and that's kind of been the key. Last year was my record year. 16 different jobs in the Branson area. And wow, it was a marathon, but it was worth it. It was fun. It was a great challenge. And that's what I also like, too, is a good challenge. And that's why I also do that one-time only show. How can we top that? And I think that's what keeps you creative, me creative, trying to do things. Also, I like, we talked earlier about, stock lines, and that's okay. Good, because it still works. If it still works, good for you. Now, I get tickled. I've had people come up to me and ask me for a joke. Share this with me. Can I borrow that one? And certain things, sure, I'm not using that anymore. Sure. Now, what makes me laugh out loud, I will go see them somewhere, and they've not changed it. Oh, boy, that Richard Nixon, did you see it? Oh, my gosh. You've got to update, So that's one of my pet peeves. Is like, okay, you got to grow with it. Okay, use it, but,
We'll get back to our interview with Terry Wayne Sanders in just a few minutes. I just want to remind you to go to bransontalk.com and check out the 200-plus episodes that we have on every topic that you can imagine in and around the Branson area. If you are a fan of Branson, Missouri, if you plan to visit Branson, Missouri, we have something for you. So please, that's bransontalk.com. You'll see a full list of all of our episodes. And, of course, be sure to subscribe to us on the podcast on the iTunes there, or Stitcher, or wherever you listen. But enough of that. Let's get back to my interview with Terry Wayne Sanders.
If you turn it, twist it, make it yours, great. Now, I do Joan Rivers, and I use some of her lines, because they knew that was Joan, Oh, Elizabeth Taylor, can we talk here? Mosquitoes see her, and they say buffet, because it works, but that would be Joan, For Barney Fife, I make him updated a little bit, but I still do, nip in the bud, my whole body is a weapon, because it's stock lines that work. That's that character. But you have to create your own stuff.
Right.
There's a man in Vegas who has done, of course, female impersonations for a long time, but he did Joan for a long time. But his problem, he also learned the hard way, he was good friends with Joan. He would go down to the casino where she was working, start taking notes, and he'd go back to his show and did her material.
Oh, yeah.
And although they were great friends, she sued him. She said, get your own stuff, buddy.
Right.
I just wrote that stuff. This is mine.
Yeah.
So again, life lesson. Hello,
do your own thing. Do your own little spin on it.
Right.
So there you go. There's a lesson for everybody.
Lesson for everybody right there. You learn from us. That's right. Christopher and Terry right here.
Right here, we're teaching you. And we have some questions that I sent to you.
Oh, my. Yes. Well, let's see what we can do.
So let's try a couple of these questions that I have here that I sent to you. When you hear the word successful, who do you think of and why?
Oh, my. Joan. We mentioned her a while ago, and I'll do it again. Joan Rivers. She has been through everything. She had been the whole gamut of it all and kept persevering. She was fired countless times. She would go under different names to different clubs. She'd get fired. She'd go back the next week under a different name. Oh, we have someone new this week. We've got so-and-so. And she just kept trying because she knew she was good. And she just proved to everyone. And even in adversity, her husband, Edgar, bad manager. She loved him, had faith in him, but he was a bad manager. They lost the deal with Fox, the TV show. And he went into a severe depression and ended up killing himself. A horrible thing that sunk her career for a while because no one would hire her. Well, her husband killed himself. Well, we can't have her on. She's not funny anymore. And so she said, I will show you all. They were $37 million in debt. Okay, because of a deal at QVC. They ended up selling the rights to Joan Rivers. And so she worked like a big dog, and she pulled herself up and was smart about it, much like you, not just comedy, but she said, okay, I love jewelry. Let's see what we can do. Let's do this. How about this? How about beauty products, creams, all that. Books. She wrote 12 books. Yeah. And also inspirational speaker. So she started incorporating all these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she ended up, whenever she died 4 years ago, she had amassed $150 million in cash. Her apartment in New York just sold for $28 million.
Yeah. Do you like it?
It's nice? Very nice, and I've not really changed much since, she was there, the towels, I've changed the towels. Right. But it's wonderful. I call it home, really, and I get to fly in, every other night, to be here for the show with Patsy Cline. But it's fun, of course, fast-paced, in New York. Anyway, so Joan, she just showed us all, and I considered her a friend. I corresponded with her, and also I spent an entire day with her in Minneapolis. I got a deal through QVC. And so I was able to really talk with her. And it was great. I asked her, I said, why do you work so much? I said, you don't have to. She said, I want to. Right. She said, if I can keep going, that's what I want to do. She goes, I work so much, though, that also affords me time with my daughter Melissa and my grandson Cooper. And so I take them on trips. And she had a heart of gold. Now, on stage, she had a blue streak, which was funny, and I love that irreverence about her because she pulled it off. It was funny. But if you ever worked for her, if you had children, she paid for their private schooling.
Oh, wow.
She took care of everybody. She would write, and she signed all of her own checks. She knew where every dime went. But she had charities that she helped out or certain people. She did an amazing thing.
Yeah, she became a whole empire.
She really was. I mean, she did it. And whenever she died, she was on top of the game. At 81 years of age, and, she was having some voice trouble. So they were just going to do a little scope down the throat to see what was wrong. And then if they found something, they were supposed to send her somewhere else. Well, they didn't. They did everything wrong. But, here we go, But
people will remember her.
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, she had more accolades. Accolades. There we go. Whenever she passed away,
I don't have any.
I know. Yeah, I'm Walmart.
Accolades, morals, like all of these fancy words.
I don't know why.
Hygiene.
Ooh, I hate that one. She was at the top of her game, and so the world they were rather sad. Like all of us were, whenever she passed away. Good question. But Joan Rivers, she was an inspiration and taught us all just keep going. No matter what, no matter how bad it is, keep going.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Terry Sanders.
Yes.
What is something that you believe that other people think is insane?
Hard work.
Yeah?
Hard work. You know what? I'm amazed anymore. I was raised where you work hard, you work for a company, they take good care of you, and blah, 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 and keep working hard. And nowadays, I see so many of the youths. What is a youth? The youth of today, they want that paycheck, but they don't want to work. They don't know how to work. And when you ask them to do things, it's the end of the world. Well, then they quit. And I'm just appalled and saddened because I get great satisfaction from hard work.
Yeah.
I really do. And you're with me because we're in a business where we are looking for that affirmation, that applause, all those good things, And so, I'm just really, sad, because I'm just amazed. It's like hard work.
Don't you think the internet has had a ton to do with that, especially in the entertainment business? I was talking with somebody else, and it used to be you had to put together an entire act. Okay, you had to go out and I started out with open mic nights.
Yes.
And work your way up. Now, you film something funny on your phone.
Yeah.
You put it online. You promote it. You get 1 million people that watch it.
Boom, boom,
and boom.
boom.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. That's all you have.
Instantaneous fame.
Yeah. For nothing.
For
Lots
nothing.
of times just being in the right place at the right time.
Right.
And then
just
the reality shows for entertainment, I think, are terrible. That's another question I get quite a bit is, have you ever thought of going on America's Got Talent? And I'll say no. And they're like, good, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
But no. But we pick our entertainers, our music it's a popularity contest, which I guess it really is.
Right. But
I'm just not much for those
true
shows.
talent. Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh, no. Especially like with American Idol, there's a handful who have done well. The other voice show, which is called, I think, The Voice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't see anyone coming out of there. They have all these great winners, and they are very, very talented. But what happened to them? Where are they at right now? Yeah, amazing.
Just did an interview with somebody that was on America's Got Talent, and he said, I like watching the show. People get so excited, and the names become household names for a while. But then 2 weeks after the finale, nobody remembers the second place winner.
No.
And with America's Got Talent, only a few have gone on to be really successful.
Right.
So in the meantime, you as an entertainer have provided your services for a television show that's basically a commercial for whoever wins.
Right.
They're building them up over all those weeks.
Sure.
So I just don't think much of the shows.
Yeah.
But if you're listening and you want me on that show.
With his partner in crime, Terry Sanders, we are right here.
Yeah,
just
so
saying.
give us a call.
Put it out there. Call 1-800. Yes.
So what is your favorite documentary or movie?
Let's see. Growing up, you know what? Wizard of Oz.
Really?
I have loved
movie
that
bothers
movie.
me.
Really?
It does.
And it should. For some people, like yourself, it can be terrifying.
It is.
Oh, my goodness.
A young girl kills the first person she meets in a strange land, then teams up with 3 more people to continue to kill again.
That's right. Yes, indeed.
Basically what it is. And if you break it down, it's just 2 women fighting over a pair of shoes.
A pair of shoes.
That's
but
it.
You know what? They are nice shoes.
are they?
Oh, are you
Have
kidding?
you seen them at the Smithsonian?
Not only have I seen them, I have a pair.
You do?
In my home. Now they're in a safe deposit box. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're worth it.
So why do you like The Wizard of Oz? What is it?
It's complete fantasy, and it's wonderful. It's escapism because our world was gray. Growing up in Mountain Grove, blah, 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 we were out on the farm because both sets of grandparents had farms and all that, and it was mundane and wonderful, but, you always wanted those better things. And all of a sudden, you're whisked away in a horrible storm because we always have tornadoes in the Ozarks. How exciting. Ooh, look, there goes the neighbor's house. And so, yes, whisk away. And all these people that she knew, she recognized sort of because they looked like them, but maybe not. And, of course, I was always literal. I remember all these movies with, of course, Judy Garland. I remember, Burt Lahr, all the Ray Bolger, all these actors. I remember seeing their movies like, that's them. Yeah. And to think, how fun it would have been to be on that set with these actors who had all that experience, all those great stories. The Munchkins, for crying out loud. How fun was that? Yeah. And everybody has a dog. Toto was there. It was everything I just loved. Then you get back home and you realize, there's no place like home. Right. It's nice to travel, but no place like home.
Yeah, but they kind of lied to her. She could have just clicked her heels at the beginning.
She wouldn't have learned. She would not have learned. That's it.
She really
Life
learn?
Lessons. She learned that.
She learned to kill a witch.
Well, exactly. A witch. See, evil. Bad.
But was she evil?
Oh,
have you read the
horrible.
book Wicked?
Oh, my goodness. That's propaganda. That is fake news. Yes.
It's the new spin.
That's
whole
right.
thing.
Oh, my goodness. Just trying to cover their tracks.
Yeah. And how about this? Buddy Ebsen was supposed to be the Tin Man, right?
Absolutely. He did 2 weeks of filming. And, of course, they did this aluminum dust. They put some cream on his face. And
What could go wrong?
Hello. Who was in charge? Where were the safety people then that we have now? Buddy Ebsen was in Branson doing his one-man show years ago. And so he wanted to come out to Silver Dollar City. So they said, Terry, would you please escort Mr. Ebsen around the park?
Oh, if I have to.
Oh, gosh, okay. How old is he? Oh, my gosh. Okay, do I have to buy his lunch? He was wonderful. We would stop and he'd say, now, right over here. This is where Irene Ryan did the funniest thing. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. And, of course, I knew in advance that he was going to be in Branson. So I had ordered a picture from The Wizard of Oz of him as the Tin Man.
Oh.
And I had him sign it with silver ink. He was so thrilled about that. And
got it in his lungs.
Yes. Yeah, it went right in the vein because, it goes right, it was horrible right there. His fingers just soaked right in. It was in a reaction because, it was still in his chemistry. So he ended his show early. But, I got his autograph and sold it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
eBay.
No, that's rumors, conjecture. So that was great fun. But, what fun. And then I wrote to him several times during the years after that, And I'd gotten some pictures of him as Buddy Ebsen or as Jed Clampett at Silver Dollar City that he signed and wrote the beautiful inscriptions. So,
yeah.
So we developed a friendship, and it was all good.
Oh,
it was all
great.
good. So,
Well,
see? And again,
all comes back to The Wizard of Oz, yeah.
That's right.
So, Terry, when you wake up in the morning,
yes,
what do you do to get ready to go, to get in the right mindset? Do you have like a routine?
Oh, yes, of course. I get up, and it's a frame of mind. I got to get ready to go. And where do I go? I take our 4 dogs outside, and we all have our own tree. And we go.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, it is.
You share one tree? Or
oh, no.
We
each have our own. Hey, this is mine because we mark our territory. And, of course, it's dark, that time. But I wake up, hi, I'm this happy guy. Honest to goodness, it makes my wife so mad. She likes to sleep in. I like to wake up early. I live on 4-5 hours of sleep.
Oh, as do I.
Yeah. See, I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
Well.
So, yeah. Anyway, but yes, I do. It's all take the dogs outside, turn on the coffee. Also, I work a lot, and so I'm not home a lot, okay? My wife works very hard. She's had real jobs all of her life. For 20 years. Oh, yes. Hello. Yeah. For 20 years, she managed the 2 Pizza Huts in Branson. Her uncle built them here in Branson. And then after she retired from that, she tried several things. And for 17 years now, though, she has licensed our home with the state of Missouri to have an in-home daycare.
Oh, well, that's fun.
And so she has a lot of pressure on her. 10 kids a day, 5 days a week, 17 years. That's why weekends were made for Michelob.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I know. I used to be a bouncer at a daycare.
Oh, my
goodness.
It's
I
horrible.
would man the door.
Oh,
It
it's
was
awful.
awful.
Yeah. So anyway, whenever my wife gets up, I want everything done for her. The dishes have been washed and put away. The laundry's all washed, dried, folded, and put away. The trash is taken out. Everything is done for that woman. And what thanks do I get? I get nice meals.
Oh, well, there you go.
And honey, I love you every now and then. Isn't that wonderful? That's what it's all about.
From her.
From her.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's nice. That
Yeah,
makes
oh
it
yeah,
nice.
oh yeah, oh yeah, from her. Yeah,
I'm at the
oh,
meals
yeah.
and stuff.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, a few meals, I buy, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, it's all good, But that's who I am. I want it all done because I don't want her to have to worry about all that other nonsense. Focus on the daycare because it's rather it's intense.
Are you a creature of habit? I am.
Oh yeah.
Like I have everything mapped out almost to the minute, and I think that
Pre-gaming.
comes a lot from being on stage, especially at our venue, because dinner starts at 52, and this announcement comes on at 3 after, and this,
Timing is the key, and I do everything is regimented, and I'm. Honest to goodness, to the second, because I have all these places I have to be. Whenever I leave Silver City, and I've got a gig down at Big Cedar, because I've been with them now for 12 years. It is 12 and a half miles. It takes me 22 minutes to get down there, And so I've got to pace myself and make sure. And I pray every day, Lord, let there not be any traffic. Let there not be an accident, Lord. Let all these things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The only time I'm late is when I have to come downtown. Because you can't predict the traffic.
Never, ever. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But a lot of people at our show will remark because I'll say I'll be there at 22 minutes after, and I show up at 22 minutes after.
Yeah.
Or if I have an appointment at 4 o'clock, I show up at 4, not 5 minutes before, not 5 minutes after. Drives my wife crazy because she's much more lax and that sort of thing. But my whole day is just budgeted.
Everything. I even budget my breaks at Silver City. Mm-hmm. I have an afternoon break. I had a 20-minute break. This was today is, of course, Monday. Last Friday, on my afternoon break at Silver City, I got in my car. I drove down to Classic Motor Inn, did an interview just like this right here on the radio. It was great fun. I left there quickly. Went just up the road to Treasure Lake. I had an appearance there as Barney Fife. So, and so boom, and right back 20 minutes later. Boom,
I map it out. I know that I can do this on the way to this, on the way to this.
We stack it. That's our life.
It's how it works.
That's why I love
makes
this
me happy.
business. Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I really am.
That is one thing on cruise ships that I like, is that it's very regimented on time. Right. Everything is. Dinner is exactly at this time. Nothing gets messed up.
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, I love it.
I do too. That's really what I live for because it has kept me focused. If I have downtime, that drives me nuts.
Me too.
And I really, because no. I've got to be. And it makes my wife mad because, well, sit down and watch a movie with me. Okay. And okay, I'm going to put a load of laundry in. I'm watching it. Oh, I can see it from here.
Yeah, and I have the iPad looking up facts about that movie while I'm waiting on doing something on my phone.
Yes.
Did you know Buddy Ebsen was in Wizard of Oz?
Almost died.
Constantly.
Terry Sanders was a friend of his.
And if you watch a movie on Amazon. Now they have a little pop-up thing that'll come up on your iPad and stuff as you're watching it. And so constantly I'm like, and we're pausing the movie we're watching so I can say, this just said that so-and-so was also in this movie. Yeah. And it drives my wife crazy.
Funny.
Or she'll listen to me. I listen to 2 audiobooks at the same time. And it drives her nuts.
Oh, my.
So, yeah.
Oh, my.
Mm-hmm. But, we don't have a lot of spare time.
So. No. And, well, it is. It's just about time management, and that's what we do. Mm-hmm. I love that. Good for you.
There you go.
I like you even more now. I used to think you were so. Now I really like you.
I don't even like myself. So
really? Well, that's too bad. No, right now you're good. You're on the good side.
I'm trying.
That's what my wife says. I'm really trying.
Hey, Terry, what advice would you give your younger self, let's say like 20 years ago? Or when...
Oh, my.
Let's say when you were 20.
When I was 20, focus more. Mm-hmm. If I had been more focused then, I would be further ahead than I am right now. Mm-hmm. Still in the business, but probably doing more, just because, I was distracted and it's like, it was just youth is wasted on the young. That is so true. Yeah. And it was, not that I was a bad guy, bad kid. Just, if I would have really concentrated more because it is show business. There is a business side to this. Yeah. And so, but, I'm thankful. Where I'm at right now, I'm in a good spot. I go to Walmart and they know me. Hey, Homer, because I've been Homer Lee for all these years. And
you're wearing the name tag.
That's true. And the whole outfit, because
you have the blue vest on.
Exactly.
You have your greeting people.
Right.
So it's
Hi,
kind
thank
of
you. Thanks for coming. Aren't you somebody? I used to be. Thank you. I was on Hee Haw.
Yeah. Do you know who I think I am?
Yes. That was a big thing. I got so tickled. In 1989, Hee Haw, the producer and director of Hee Haw, came to Branson. And they came to the Brasher Music Show. And they watched me. And they talked to me at intermission. They talked to me after the show. They were very nice. And it was nice to meet you. Well, nice to meet you, Terry. Thank you so much. Next day was my day off at Silver Dollar. My boss from Silver City calls up. His name is Jim Mosque. He said, Terry, these guys from Hee Haw here to see you. I said, no, I saw them last night. No. They want to see you out here working people outside and how that works. Mm-hmm. I said, oh, okay. So I got in my
could be
car.
fun.
Yeah, went over there. And that afternoon, that evening, I went to the Brasher Music Show. And Janice Brasher said, here's a note. It's from Mr. Sam Lavello. Yeah. Anyway, you're supposed to call him so I called him, and he said, we're going to see you in 2 weeks in Nashville.
Oh, wow.
I was so excited. I filmed 13 episodes in Nashville, Tennessee of Hee Haw. At that time, it was the longest-running variety show on TV.
Mm-hmm. I remember watching it.
It was very exciting. Oh, I know. Yeah. And everyone there, heroes. I worked with Minnie Pearl. I love Minnie Pearl. She was delightful. Everyone was great. But I got tickled because people want to argue with you whenever you know better. But when people, this is my pet peeve, when they know better than you. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess you're moving down there to Nashville, ain't you?
Yeah.
Well, no, sir. We're going to film, the 13 episodes. No, it's on every week. You got to be down there.
Yeah, right.
And of course, and you're trying to, and then they just don't get it, no matter what you do. Mm-hmm. I said, you're probably right. I'll have to sell a few things, maybe a kidney. Yeah. It makes me. That's what
fake
really
news.
Fake
We're
news.
back to fake news.
Oh, at Christmas time several years ago, out at Silver Dollar City, a lady got into discourse with me. She was so upset about certain things that weren't happening. I said, well, ma'am, it's Christmas time. This is why we open up later in the day so we can stay later so you can see all the beautiful lights and all this. This place has just gone downhill since the Hershans sold it.
Oh, yeah.
I said, ma'am, I know Jack and Pete very well. They're family friends, Pete, and my wife and I and his wife, we've gone to church together. And Jack, I've got beautiful letters from Jack. They still own. No, they sold it. You don't know what you're talking. And now, it was bad enough that she was wanting to be that adamant about it. The worst part of this was, I said, ma'am, I'm going to have to walk away. I wish you well. God bless you. And I walked away because, she just wanted to argue.
Yeah.
So I walked down to the train depot because at that point I was in charge of the train depot, the crowd controlling, all that. Well, there's a man down there and he's sitting over there and he's smoking. Now, we're not supposed to smoke over there. I said, sir, I'm sorry. You're not supposed to smoke over here. I guess you want me to move back in the very back, I guess. And I said, no, sir. It's okay. And I was just upset. Well, I look around. Here comes this lady. She went to that man who was smoking. It was her husband. The whole reason she argued with me was to distract me so he could get to the front of the line so their grandkids would not have to wait in line to ride the train.
Oh, isn't that nice?
It was wonderful. So I called security and had him kicked off.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And banned from the park forever.
Don't ever. Yes. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, banning. Because I've got power.
Yeah.
38 years, I know people.
Do you know who you think you are? No. I had that with somebody. My very first week of the actual show back in 2005, 2006, I was walking down the employee entrance, and there's a gentleman coming down on crutches through the loading dock.
Oh, my.
And I said, you can't be down here. Yeah, it's okay. And I said, no, it's not okay. You could get hurt. And he's like, no, it's fine. And I said, please let me help get you up there. If you get to the right place, it'll be fine. Just arguing with me. And I thought, it's my first week. I'm not going to rock the boat, literally. And so then I'm sitting there backstage and they said, we just wanted to let you know that Jack Hershand is out here watching the show. He's the man out there with the crutch. It was him. It was him. So we had a good laugh about it because I had no idea.
Oh, no
clue. And they're the nicest people.
They are the nicest people. I absolutely adore them.
He's
Jack
hilarious.
And Sherry. And he's just like, and unassuming. He walks out there. Here's this man who's done quite well for himself. He's got a cowlick. You can afford to get someone to cut your hair the right way, but no, but that's who he is,
Yeah,
and
they just kind of hang around and we have a great time. And when they come to the showboat, they sit where regular guests sit. We have a big, huge VIP table, and they want to sit.
Fine.
Yeah.
Sherry was on Park yesterday over at Silver Dollar City, and she's so funny because she brought friends with her. She is a mature woman. I won't say her age, but she's a mature woman, and the energy level that she has, you and I combined will never have as much energy as she has.
Yeah.
She amazes us. She's just bubbly. She's giddy. She's running over here and over here. I'm going to run over this. I'm going to do this. She's amazing. And that's where we should be. When we're that age, when we're that mature, we should be just like that.
Yeah, they are. They're incredible.
Yeah.
So, Terry, thanks for talking with us on Branson Talk. You're the premier guest of Season 4. How about that? Yeah.
Wow.
200 in some of these things. Can you believe that?
I'm thrilled.
I'm surprised there's that many people that will talk to me.
Hey,
to tell you the truth. But thanks for being with us on Branson Talk here. And come see Terry at the Patsy Cline and Friends.
Silver Dollar City. At Christmas time, I'm in charge of Santa Claus. That's right. I'm Clarence Peabody. Yes, Santa's helper. What who wants, who gets.
Yes. Very nice. Very nice. Well, thanks again. And thanks for listening to Branson Talk. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed this week's interview with Terry Wayne Sanders. I had a great time talking with him. I'm sure this is the first of many, many conversations that we'll have. We had a great time. We actually ended up talking for about another 45 minutes after the episode. We had a lot actually in common. It was kind of cool to get to speak with Terry one-on-one, out of characters. Both of us, just two people sitting there talking about what it's like to live in Branson, our experiences and so on. And, well, be sure to check out Terry, of course. And also, as I mentioned at the top of the podcast, we will be featuring some of the mini-sodes, mini-podosodes. I don't know what the word would be for it, but mini-pods. Can we call it that? That's nothing. Okay. But mini little episodes that we'll be releasing with individual questions that Terry and I discussed in length after the main interview. And as always, go to bransontalk.com. Follow us, bransontalk.com. You'll see all the episodes. Subscribe to us on Facebook. All you have to do on Facebook is look for All Things Branson, where we cover everything in and around the Branson area. But most of all, please support Branson, Missouri, and just come by. Have a good time. We've got something for everything. As we say here at All Things Branson, our lives are your family's vacation. I'm Christopher James signing off. Listen for us next week. Bye-bye.